That.
Okay, we're live and welcome to the first episode of the ShyCast, my own podcast about the fatty community, fatty artists, and everything involving expansion fetishes and art. Today is the first episode, and I have a guest that is a friend dear to my heart, ButteryInkling.
Yo, what up?
So,
How have you been? Thanks for letting me on.
things have been on my end pretty emotional this last week, but everything is coming to an end with that, and everything brightens back up. So around Christmas and stuff, everything is positive again.
Hey,
And on
these
your end,
these things are good. Um, kind of the same, but not too emotionally just straining. It's a little weird because I always have to go out to like different stores and shit just to pick up like a couple of things for my family,
because
like
of the
specific
pandemic,
things. Well, not because of the pandemic. We've always had a problem with it. I don't know if the pandemic has made it better or worse, but it's just kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of like straining to go to like 5 different types of dollar store chains in America. Well, not in America, but more like in like 3 different towns.
why is that? Is your family or are your family members not able to walk or what?
Well, it's not that I'm not able to. It's just like it would be easier for them to stay at home, uh, and take care of something and then just let me go out do it. It's weird to explain without like being like straight up honest about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's more of a private topic.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I
okay.
only share it
Then
with my like close friends.
let's talk about what we're here for and what we love: obesity and art about said obesity.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I guess the main question everyone asks almost every artist or friend they meet in this community: what got you into the wonderful world of fatness, obesity, and gaining weight?
Um, I guess everybody's answer to that would be like something similar, like, oh, I watched this show and it got me into it. What got me into it was that one Fairly Odd Parents episode about like the the dessert wish.
Oh yeah, oh, I loved that
Yeah,
episode as a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, that one. Um, and also niche pick because like I don't remember the show outside of that, but Zowlin Showdown had an episode where one of the characters had like a clone of themselves that got fat. I
Zelen?
don't really remember that show at all, other than it just like really oddball humor or
That name
something.
doesn't even ring a bell, but that's probably because
Yeah.
it's named differently in English and German.
um the main character was like this monk kid. He was bald, he had like dots on his forehead. And I remember that they colored him yellow cuz he
Oh,
was Asian.
that doesn't ring a bell at all. And holy
You
shit, there
know
are way
what?
more people listening to us right now than I thought there would be. Hello,
What?
everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi everybody.
Hello, Bruno. Hello, Ach, Akiza. Hello, Copain. Hello, Necognito Tab.
Oh,
Hello,
well, there's there's
hello, person who just dabbed in the chat. I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I'm not gonna try.
glitching glitches gl- fuck.
Yeah, cartoons and stuff back then really had uh, a easy way to trigger a fetish in a kid. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
cartoons nowadays are more fueled. That's when I go on Twitter and everyone complaining about the animators being fetish fuel or whatever. Uh, but that's true. Like a big part was definitely cartoons and certain cartoon episodes for me too. Uh, but for me, the main thing was I had earlier access to the internet compared to most people, I think, and uh, I saw a 3D animation about a woman gaining weight, and back then the little show didn't know what weight gain meant because it didn't know English, and I just searched the word up, like I typed it always and never really knew how to type it, and I found all those videos about women or pictures of women when they get fat or bigger, and some other animations too. Many comics and stuff. Like I knew many artists before I even went to DeviantArt or Twitter. So that's a big thing, and of course all the cartoon episodes.
A.
Yeah, and even many other people. Like some people posted or recently posted a trend about their cartoon crushes and stuff, and a lot of them were from episodes that went about fetishes, expansion, and whatever not. And it's really surprising to me that just a silly idea of a person blowing up into a balloon can cause someone to be really into it in a few years of their life.
Who would you say your cartoon crush is?
Uh, I think Kim Possible was definitely one. That's yeah, I always watched that. Um, and I don't actually think I have one. I can't think of one right now. I only really know Kim
Yeah, it's
Possible.
kind of hard to think of like your cartoon crush, at least for me, because I I'm just not really that into Western stuff at all. Well,
I,
okay, I'll take that back. I'm not really into Western animation much at all. Like it's a valid art form. It's just I'm not that into it. I this counts as cheating, but I would have to say Jesse and James from the Pokemon anime. 'Cause they heavily Americanized it over here.
uh, I think the cartoon crushes thing is like more about your childhood and stuff, and not your current self.
It's also fair.
I think the
I
nowadays cartoon crush would just be your waifu or spendo.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I would probably no. I'd probably say like the same thing when it comes to cartoons, like Jesse, and I always liked James.
I never really liked Jessie. I just it wasn't really that she was the bad character. It was just
You got
no.
annoyed with her?
Yeah, it was
Mm,
just an annoying.
always fair. Whenever people talk about Jesse James now, it's just kind of like, oh, I love James. I don't really like Jesse though. And that's always fair. Like people can have different tastes in other people, and that's fine.
I can't believe Buttery is all about the anime. Someone said in the chat. And yeah, glitch. Nowadays we have a lot of people self-inserting themselves with their husbando, their wife, their cartoon crushes. It's just like the fantasy that we had back then, and like people like you and me. I started drawing because I wanted to bring those fantasies onto the canvas, and yeah, that's what I do. Sometimes I draw myself or like an insert of myself, my OC, with a character that I really enjoy, and it's just great. This feeling of that you can have that on a in reality. I can speak.
Fine. One of these days you'll be able to.
Glitch just said, and to give a hint to Buttery as to who I am, reverb fart.
Yeah, I know it was Chloe the moment they joined in. I was like, oh, it's Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Wait a minute, was I supposed to say their name out loud?
Nice. So-
Oops. Oh well.
Privacy 100.
Privacy 100.
So, what are you currently drawing?
You might recognize her.
Uh, is that a split tail?
Yes.
Fuck off! Come on!
It would be cute.
Thank you so much. Already. Ah! Yeah. Well, I would have drawn something for you too, but I decided
You
that
don't
I
have
wouldn't
to.
draw something for the guests because then people would just come onto the podcast just to get something drawn for them. And I wanted to avoid that.
I got ya. It's understandable. Like, mm, I always feel bad whenever somebody's like, "Oh, hey, what should I draw?" And then I'm just like, "Man, I don't know. I'd tell you what I'd want you to draw, but I don't want to like impose." So usually whenever like somebody asks what should they draw, I give like a really shit post kind of answer like, "Oh, draw this character, but they're T-posing."
To assert their dominance.
To assert their dominance, absolutely.
I should probably do more jokey drawing stuff. I think even that can improve your skill at a point. Like I'm really stuck to what I like here, and I rarely expand. So I guess that could lead to another topic that we wrote down. Your biggest inspiration in art. What inspired you to draw the way you do today? The things you draw and everything around that.
Man, there are a lot of artists. I want to start off with like the normal artist that I have down. Takehito Harada, the Disgaea artist. I love their like shading. I love their coloring. I love just how kind of wacky they go with like with their anatomy. It's great. They draw the greats, and then you've got like a bunch of artists from this community, like Metal Forever, Trinity Fate. You have uh just a lot of artists that like I kind of got inspired to do this like, anime-esque style
Mm.
from because I don't know, I just find the anime style so appealing to me. I don't really know why. It's just kind of fun to draw things like, you know, it came out of some weird Japanese show.
I think for me, the more anime esque part of my art style is because it feels less realistic, and I can just express my fantasies more with something that is less, yeah, that's less realistic, and I have less attachment to the real life, and of course the negatives that our fetish has on the real world. So just having those fantasy fantasy things in your art style can really help with just expanding into more fantasy, if that makes sense.
Ye. The fantasy of it all is kind of like just the wondrous part that people come for. Like I feel like if it wasn't so if people weren't so like, oh ha about it, like if people weren't so like comical with it almost, that there wouldn't be as many people in this community. But since we're like more, on the nose and just goofy about it, I feel as though that's also kind of what brings people to this fetish.
Mm.
It's like, oh, it's a non-realistic representation. It's it's soft, it's cute looking. Yeah, fuck it, I'm into this.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think that's where that little controversy between round fats and more flabby and saggy realistic fats. I think that's where most of the controversy is a bit split between the people that want to have that realistic feeling in the artwork and to the ones that just want to express their wildest, unrealistic fantasies. And I think people that draw more round fat actually care less about realism, to be honest. I think that is the case.
It could be the case, or maybe it's just more because that's what they want to draw. Like, they could be like a fantastic an animal. Ugh. They could be
Hell.
like a fantastic artist at anatomy, but they just draw more round fats because they want to. I also feel Ugh,
Bless you.
sorry. I was I was struggling with that sneeze throughout it.
Bless you.
But you know, artists like Jito, they draw really round stuff, but they are like fucking masters of anatomy.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah,
it's
I do have to
insane.
admit that in Jito's stuff, he's really amazing at anatomy and being able to uh, deliver
Color and
that
shape.
not just that, deliver that feeling of the fat being heavy and weighting down and just actually having mass. I think that's one of the things that very few artists can actually get down perfectly. You know,
Yeah, I also feel as though I have that problem where I'm more unrealistic about my interpretations of that.
yeah. G2 is unrealistic too, but still he's able to deliver that feeling of it being heavy and fat and stuff. And I think if you can nail that down, it's it's just smooth sailing from there to become like someone a bigger number in the community, if I'm gonna say it that way.
E.
Because it's not just something your brain realizes unconsciously. Like you just see it and then you're like, yep, that's I see that what I love, the heavy weight, the softness, and all that.
I I I I really like Jito style. I'll just say that right now. I feel like I talk about other artists very favorably when it comes to like, you know, not even just like with how good they are, just with like how they draw.
Yeah, we're
Cause,
still at the
cause,
topic of who inspired you. So
well, let's add Jito to the list. Even though he did come like after I pounced on the scene so long ago, but I'm not counting it because I wasn't good back then at all. I wouldn't say that I'm Picasso now, but I would say that I'm at least a little better.
well, it doesn't matter when you were in in the past apostrophe. No, not that. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you were skilled or not. Someone can still inspire you a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that.
Yeah, for me, I think I will leave that out in the next episodes talking about the things that inspired me because well, the people that watch it will already heard it like 1,000 times if I repeat it over and over. Um, yeah, Danny, me too. I was caught off too when they drew a fat piece out of the blue again. And yeah, for me, I think the person that made me decide to start art was Satsuro. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his
Oh,
name.
Satsuro! Yeah,
Yes.
I know him.
Yeah, he was one
Where
of
did
the
he go?
I don't know Cotton Eye Joe. He was one of the few people back then when I was a wee boy, yeah, that I followed religiously. Like something about his art just clicked so much in me, and I think he's also the main reason why I was into hyper sizes in the beginning. Like back then, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a famous blob artist," and well, I barely draw blobs today, but he's the reason why I wanted to start and bring my own ideas to the canvas. So I was pretty sad to see that he's gone. But he
I
did
mean, like
notice. He did notice me back then when I made a little post about my art inspirations. So I'm happy.
Aww.
And I think the
It's not.
main. Sorry. Yep.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
And the main, like the thing that the people that inspired me the most were definitely Trinity Fate and Jay Kuma.
Yeah. They have very recognizable art styles, and I can see plenty of people being inspired by them. This canvas too. I'll have to.
God, Hilda's hair is weird. Shirley, does your wife have such a weird hair?
Yeah, Hilda's hair
Stop.
is a little odd. Because of those ripped jeans, I swear. Ripped jeans
He
does something
loves
to a
those.
man.
Jesus, he loves those things. Yeah, I think we can be glad that those artists started their journey too, because we wouldn't be here without them. And I wouldn't have one of my closest friends for over 5 years without Trinity Fate existing.
Aww.
Even though we had a few bigger arguments recently, we're still happy to have each other.
Well, it's a
And
good
our
thing that it's a good thing that you guys can look past your arguments. I feel as though that's like a thing that I need to learn how to do. 'Cause I hold grudges like a motherfucker.
I learned to not do that a lot because that just makes things worse. But with him and right now it's a very hard situation. But I don't want to go into detail. But we're still every time we said, oh, our friendship is over, we just keep coming back. So uh,
Yeah, kind of what
there's
happens
just
with best friends.
yeah, there's just something that holds us together. And our very first message was me messaging him and saying, "Hello, fellow Trinity lover," because his avatar was a piece from Trinity Fate. And that's how this 5 year long friendship started.
Man, I met my best friend on a forum. On a I think that forum is just no wait, that forum is defunct now. It got replaced by something else. But I met one of my best friends on one of these old vision-free forums, like the free to make ones. And they got bought out by some other company somewhere down the line, and now they're something or other.
I don't know
And
what you're talking about.
yeah, I wouldn't expect you to know. I'm not trying to do that hipster thing. It's just like it's just like a really weird and niche part of the internet. These like free to make forums, like these free to make boards. Like,
Something like Fortune or what?
well, no, not something like Fortune. It's like a message board. I don't know what
Tinder?
to compare it. I don't know what to compare it to really, because it's its own thing. It's like I don't know, like layout wise, the only thing I could compare it to is the Kiwi forums, but it's not as toxic as the Kiwi forums.
Yeah, Fortune is a weird place. I don't really
4chan,
go on
this
there.
side of the internet is a weird place. Like the only reason why I go on 4chan sometimes, and I do mean sometimes, is just to look at the slash trash board, because that's where all of the good content is. Even if there are some really like bad people there.
A bit ironic.
A bit ironic, yeah.
Also, Tabby, I think I know who you're gonna draw, but I'm not totally sure. And he's also asking, was it IRC?
Is it IRC? Not sure what IRC means.
Okay, then
So
it
I
wasn't bad.
wouldn't know. I just know that the company was called envision for that made the forums. It was something that was run by my friend and then got shut down for like, because you can't post porn on the forums.
But it's the
And
internet.
that, yeah, it's the internet, but it got shut down. Then they had to like ban evade and make another forum. I'm just telling straight facts. They had to ban evade.
Why are my characters always tilting into a direction that's not good?
Why are they always tilting?
Yeah, it's
Like
just
side
always.
angle?
No, it just. Wait. I think that's better. Okay.
Always
I
just
only
flip
ever
your
go on
canvas.
Fortune for some /VSG threads these days because I always welcome spicy webams in open arms. Yeah, I know what webams are, but I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to Fortune, or too much of a zoomer, I guess.
Too much of it. Yeah.
Okay, zoomer.
4chan's kind of just weird.
It's too toxic, to be honest. I every time I go on there, it's just not even 5 minutes of scrolling, and I see someone complaining about a person. Oh, I'm anonymous. I can complain now.
That's kind of like the double-edged sword of anonymity. It's just like, oh, hey, I'm an anonymous person. Time to shit talk people. It's just like, bro, can you not? Like, I
Yeah.
came here to see the funny images. This is an image board.
Yeah, you have to watch out of whom you post an image, because then someone will be like, "Hey, I know of something they said to another
Yeah,
person from."
that'll give them like the inspiration to just shit talk somebody, and it's just like, I don't wanna just sit here and shit talk people. I
Just,
wanna look at funnies.
I don't
I
want to
wanna
shit
look.
talk. I just want to be horny.
Well, I guess the reaction images that come out of it are good too.
Okay, yeah. I have a
Some of
whole
my
folder of reaction images that I don't use. I just love them.
dude, I have like at least 1,000 reaction images,
Do you
and
actively
like
use them?
sometimes.
I wanted to make reaction images of Michelle, but that was like, yeah, I'm too lazy to do all that.
Yeah, that's like a lot of work. I kind of don't blame you for not doing it, but I made 3 different reactions from hand on the right way. Yeah, that hand's on the right way. I made 3 different reactions of my OCs. I made Caitlyn pogging, I've made Mitzi blushing, and I've made Pluto being a smug little bitch. I don't know.
Okay,
I also wouldn't really call Pluto an OC, more like a fan character.
I forgot who Pluto was. I'm sorry.
He's my Jirachi boy.
Oh, I would
It's
call that
fine.
an OC.
I mean,
I mean,
you
I
could.
would I call my pony OC also a pony OC. So many people have Pokemon as their OCs. So I don't think that's you can. I think you can call it an OC.
Fair, fair.
Speaking, I think that's a good transition. Using your emotes in chat and stuff, and a lot of people have their fetish stuff separate from normal stuff, and I'm not one like that. I don't really understand that, so I wanted to talk
I
about uh, fetish pride, being prideful
I
about your fetish, being open about it, and just having it a part of you and your life.
I used to have a separate account for just normal art and just normal things in general.
Hmm.
But I kind of got into some drama and I left that community that I was in. So I just kind of vowed to like, okay, well, I'll make a normal account, but I will rarely do anything with it. So I've kind of moved back to just doing mainly fetish stuff. Just kind of because it's what I'm most comfortable with, I guess. It it's it's funny that the fetish community is a lot more forgiving than other communities that I've been in,
Yeah,
because
okay,
it's
not
because
for
we're
me.
all here for a good time. Like I'm not saying that it's like as forgiving now. We're not even gonna get into that. I just feel as though like in comparison to the communities that I've been in, it's
Okay,
a
yeah.
lot more like yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know. To get back on track, I I sometimes I still draw like normal art, but it's just kind of like spur of the moment sometimes. But for like fat fetish pride and shit, I I always have like a hard time bringing that to the public light. Like on the internet, it's like, woo, I could do anything, like the anonymous comment. But
Hmm.
it's like when I'm in public, it's like I get really nervous about it to the point where I'm not really like seeking bigger people. Though at the same time, I've also not had a romantic partner since technically elementary school, and that shit doesn't even count. I
Yeah,
wouldn't really count puppy love as actual love.
I maybe had one one true that I can think of, and that didn't even hold a year because, funnily enough, I was in love with a face from that person. He was like in a phase of him finding who he is, and I fell in love with a face of him that he had like for the time that we were together, and it was just gone. He wasn't really the same guy anymore.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I I would say that I'm bi, but at the same time, I've never really met any guy that I would truly have a relationship with. I think it's just like the fictional characters that I'm interested in more. Though then again, I've not tried to be with a guy, so I could just be like I don't know how to put it. I don't know, biased towards like fictional.
It's because they are what you want them to be.
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair.
So with me and relationships, it's like uh, in art, I do still have a bit of a preference towards female characters, just because I started with it and it's kind of still mainly in my heart. But slowly, I'm more and more towards male characters because it's like they have something special that a lot of female characters don't have. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just me wanting
Like
more variety. That could be it too.
unique hairstyles.
I love
Just
long hair, so I don't. It doesn't really matter.
I
Um,
just I feel bad for like female characters because they're always stuck with like similar hairstyles sometimes. And it's just like guys can have any hairstyle they want and just not give a shit. They're like the most popular and be honest, one of my favorite hairstyles is the should shrink this down. Is like the cut bangs look. Like the I resemble a K-pop star look.
do you mean the one I'm drawing right now?
Well, no, like the messy like short bangs, kind of like. I don't know. The best way to best way to give an example is to like bring up my OC Mitzi. Just kind
Mm.
of like that hairstyle is my favorite. Like the I woke up with bedhead look. It's really cute.
Yeah, for me it's
On
just always has been long hair. I don't know why, and it doesn't even have to be like clean long hair. It's just long hair in general. Like I have long hair. Almost all of my characters have long hair. Okay, the boys not that much because I wanted them to be more boyish and less femboyish because I wanted to go a bit away from that. Because that's just like cheating, to be honest. If someone says, "Oh, I like boys, but only femboys," I'm like,
I
I
mean,
don't want. I don't
I
want to
wouldn't
cause
say
a
that's
drama.
I wouldn't say that's cheating. And I wouldn't say it's drama either. I would just say it's no, that's just their perfect boys. I
Yeah,
wouldn't call it cheating because
yeah.
this is
Okay, you're
actually a
right.
very
That was a bit
interesting.
dumb to say.
No, this is actually kind of like an interesting conversation because like the term femboy is so broad. It could bring up images of Mustafa. It could bring up images of Felix. It could bring up images of like just general like female looking males. Or it could bring up images like Sephiroth or Marluxia, guys with like really broad like male male looks, but they have female traits like Sephiroth's long hair and Marluxia's hair and just his like general demeanor.
Let
I
me.
feel as though like the definition of femboy is a lot more broader than people like think.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just
Then I guess if people only like the very very feminine femboys where you can't even tell the difference anymore, then I just think it's like you will want to like or you want to say that you like boys to be more varietful, but in the end you just want a female looking character.
I could also see that.
I'm a bit iffy with
That's
male and
also
female
like
characters in like
this is
our community and stuff. It's a bit
yeah.
sad that male characters get like minus
Not
seventy
as much
percent
attention.
attention
Yeah.
and favorites. Like it could be the best. Okay, not really the best, but it could be like a very very talented artist. But if you draw a male, like you won't even get close to much attention as someone that would quickly draw a female and be done. And I think that's pretty sad.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel as though male OCs in the fetish community aren't as prevalent, but then you do have like those like rare instances like I don't know if it's an OC or not, but adipose something. They draw a lot of like this Sherlock Holmes character, and I don't know if it's like an OC or not. They look kind of similar to Connor from Detroit Become Human, just kind of similar. I I don't know if they're an OC or not, but they
Oh, do you
definitely
mean Laha, the
uh
artist?
I I don't know. I only know them by their Twitter handle.
Adipose saleswoman?
Yeah. Her
That's Sherlock
or them.
Holmes. That's an anime Sherlock Holmes from
Oh, that's an anime
a
Sherlock.
manga series, I think.
Oh, I thought it was their OC. I'm
Nope, it
mistaken.
wasn't. Some people thought Hifumi was an OC of mine just because I drew her so much, but no, she's just my waifu.
I feel bad now because I didn't know they were a niche character. I
Before
That's the
that,
thing. I think niche characters are cute.
yeah, definitely. Before that, she was drawing an OC. It was just a cowboy, but she stopped doing that. Sadly, I liked it a lot, and now she's
The
just
cowboy
mostly
was
on
cute.
Sherlock. But I do like people that have a lot of passion for a character and they draw it a lot. Like I'm a bit iffy about fan art recently. Like I changed a bit and I was like, I'm not really too big onto fan art anymore. But if someone really, really loves a character a lot, like with me and Hifumi and with Lala and Sherlock and with Childay and Hilda, then I'm completely fine with it. I love their passion. I love that they love the character that they are drawing. But sometimes it's just someone that
That was my fault.
draws fetish art, that draws fetish art of popular characters just to become popular, and that's something I don't like. And that's a topic that I
I
wrote. That's a topic I wrote down too. OC versus fan art.
um I agree and I disagree at the same time. Like I do think that some people draw fan art just for clout, but I also think that like some people like me can really enjoy drawing fan art sometimes because there are just so many characters out there that just have like designs that just hit just like hit hit me in the right way. Like, oh god, this character is cute. Oh no.
Oh no, I
It
need
doesn't
to
even
make her
have
fat.
it doesn't even have to be like a completely sexual thing either, because like there's some characters out there that are just really cute.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I wanna make them cuter.
Yeah, okay. With you and like cherry picking the characters you like a lot, it's understandable. But I'm specifically talking about the people that just draw the most popular characters, the most characters that
Oh,
people can recognize.
like waifu of the week stuff.
Hmm? Yeah, no, no, not exactly. Those are mostly also like small viral trends of characters. But I mean, who? Uh, okay, I might start drama. I don't know. Cookie's Cat, for
Um,
example. They only draw like popular characters, not even modern popular characters. Just uh, I don't know their English name. The Gadget Girls, Clover and stuff. Uh, Popular cartoon characters, a lot of Samus and stuff. And I don't know if, but it does feel like they are only doing it for cloud.
it it could also just be like they don't want to go through the effort of making an OC, which
That's
is
true
also
too.
fine,
Yeah, that's also true, of course.
because making an OC is pain.
Yeah,
I'm always really nervous with drawing my OCs because it's just like I want to draw them. It's just like, oh boy, I feel like if I draw them again, I'll feel the need to redesign them again and again
yes.
and
Oh my
again.
god, I know that feeling so bad.
I I've gone through 2 redesigns of 5 different characters this year. Like I've redesigned my Witch Knight crew, like to the point where it's just like, okay, at the start they were like last year I did like 5 different redesigns of them.
And I think you
I
also
want to
split
say.
a redesign into a completely different lore, didn't you?
No, that was Caitlyn, and I dropped that
Oh yeah.
because it was just confusing. And until like I did a D&D campaign where I had Caitlyn as an NPC, and I'm like, okay, well this is a nice touch. And then one of the players just started flirting with her, and it's just like, oh, this is not what I expected. I guess I have to write her in somehow.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with designing OCs and stuff. Like right now, I also have trouble with my male OC, the brother of my mascot. I had a design back then, or like the first design. I liked it, but it felt like what I said, a bit too feminine. Like it was just a girl that I called a boy. If you know it's a boy, then it's of course easier. But for me, it just felt too feminine, so I wanted to change it.
It's also fair.
And I did change it, and I liked it at first. But when I drew him a few days ago, it was I wasn't happy with drawing that. So I want to redesign him again and
You could
again
always
probably.
you'd always try to give him like a different outfit. Cause sometimes you just need to see another character in like another outfit aside from the one that you've assigned to them. That's
Yeah.
kind of why modern characters are a lot better. Cause nowadays we don't have like the same 3 shirts in our wardrobe like 20 times. We have like a variety of clothing.
I mean, I have like 20 t-shirts and 8 of them are just plain black. So
Well, okay, that's also fair, but I don't know. It's just like with OC, it's just like with modern OCs, it's a lot easier to do that sort of thing. When it comes to characters like in a fantasy setting or like within a pseudo fantasy setting, like in Witch Knight, it's just like, oh, they they only wear like one thing probably because they don't have that diverse of a wardrobe because they're always like running around.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, though I guess like I don't know when it comes to like OC art versus fan art, I enjoy them both.
Hmm.
I wish I could do more OC art. But sometimes my brain just gets distracted with like, oh, well, hey, there's this character.
Yeah,
And there's
I.
also like, some people commission a lot of canon character art a lot, so I'm also kind of what I draw,
Hmm.
because put gotta put money on the table, gotta get food,
Yeah.
sustain
One
oneself.
moment.
Take your time. Let me look at the has this food come? I don't know. Maybe.
Came in. So okay.
That's fine. Nice conversation. I was kind of like I was kind of listening in because you forgot to mute yourself.
I muted myself in stream.
Oh, you muted yourself in stream? Oh, okay. I was kind of nervous because like I don't really know German that well, and was just like, is that a positive conversation or is that? And then I heard laughing, and it was just like, oh, okay, positive conversation.
Every
I don't
German
know.
is angry.
As an American who only knows English and like a little bit of another language, like not even enough to qualify it as a second language. German is German sounds very angry to like a non-German speaker. Like it sounds very angry, despite
I
like
can
very
see that. Yeah, I
soft-spoken
can see
people.
that.
Despite like very soft-spoken people and like very funny people, like Chip Flakes, and Shenpai being from Germany.
Hmm. No,
Like
Chips Flake isn't
whenever I hear them speak,
originally German. Chips Flake moved to Germany.
okay, yeah, they they moved to Germany, but I don't know when they moved to Germany. I don't remember. It's
He
been a
said it in
while
his
since I've
videos.
seen like yeah. Um, too much. I'm gonna
Tell me,
there
yes,
we go.
Germans are angry.
German, German.
Uh,
Like I was
where
saying
where do we left off?
before, though, I think I was still talking about OC stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just get commissioned to do a lot of like canon character work,
Hmm.
and it's not that bad because there are some canon characters that I enjoy that I don't get to draw enough of. I don't get to draw enough Tao. I don't get to draw enough Isabel from Animal Crossing.
You hear it, people. Commission ButteryInkling now.
Oh God, no.
Commission him for the characters
I'm
he wants
only
to draw
I'm
now.
only open to friends. I'm only open to friends right now.
We're all friends now.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
That's where you got me.
uh, yeah, with me and fan art, it toned down to mainly liking, or I do like fan art still, but it's just mainly for me. I like drawing OCs more. I do tend to draw fan art here and there, of course, but mostly OCs and my waifu. What I realized is today I talked with a friend. We realized that in the fat fur community, OCs are a lot more welcome, or a lot more, or easily to get popular, if I say it like that, than in
Yeah,
the
like
human world. Because I don't know, to be honest, but looking at furry art, it's like you don't know the character. The character is an OC, but still so many people love it. And here it's like it's an OC and no one cares.
yeah, it's honestly really weird because like whenever I did like an OC picture of Caitlyn on DA, it didn't get that much attention, but when I put it on for Affinity, it just got a lot more attention. It was just like,
Yeah,
what? That doesn't make any sense.
I can't draw hands.
Oh man, dude, same.
How
Like
to
we
get a
are
lot of
struggling
artists.
on the same thing right now, and I think it's funny.
Oh, nice. How to get a lot of likes from artists. Just say hands bad, lol.
Yeah. And to be fair, like hands are a very complicated mechanism of the human body. Getting it wrong will just be like,
Just draw
uh,
mittens.
just draw mittens.
My OC canonically has mittens now because I can't draw hands. That's the reason that's the reason all of my OCs back then had one eye covered. Because I was too stupid to draw the other eye.
I feel like
So,
drawing eyes too.
I like drawing eyes a lot.
Eyes
Hmm?
eyes are fun.
Yeah,
Like I've been experimenting with my eye shape a lot.
same. Like right now, it's more of a round shape and less the generic anime style. It's more comic-y, I think, cartoonish. I don't know, but I've been doing that a lot lately.
I've been getting even more anime with my eyes, I feel. Cause like I see like a couple anime like art styles, and I'm just like, man, what if I tried something like that?
What if
I don't remember.
I tried?
I don't remember the manga. I don't remember the anime name, but it was really infamous for a while for like its non-ending saga of like the same day over and over again. But that anime's art style looks really good. I think it's called like the Endless Eight. I don't remember what anime it came from, but like the Endless Eight anime's art style is really good. It was like named after one of the characters, I feel, but I just can't.
I'm gonna look that up. The Endless Eight.
Yeah, the Endless Eight arc. What anime is that from?
Oh, those where Harushi is from.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Little Flamey, try doing hands and pixels. Pain.
Does sound like pain. Oh god.
Yeah, they draw pixel art. Oh yeah, that anime is, I think, really old and very popular.
Yeah, it used to be really popular back in the
It
day.
it has those old school huge anime eyes, and I like that.
Oh,
I like that a lot.
I fucking love huge anime eyes. Now there can be like times where it just goes overboard like that one image of the girl who is nothing but anime eyes, and they are
Yeah.
spaced out.
That isn't even photoshopped. That's real.
I know, it's real. I feel like that's going too far, but like just like anime eyes in general, like I said, the Disgaea art style, I love it. I love how thick the eye shapes are. I love how big the irises and the pupils are, and I really want to replicate that.
It looks so easy, right?
It looks so easy, and then you actually go and do it, and it's just like, okay, damn, there's more thought into this than I originally like did there to be. I still haven't mastered it yet. Once I do, I'll be an old man just grinning.
Today I finally learned how to draw hands and eyes. Now I
I'll
can
never learn how
finally
to
die.
draw. I'll never learn how to draw. I'll never learn how to draw hands. Just the eyes.
I'm
I'll be
gonna go back
satisfied
to the.
if I get the eyes.
I'm gonna go back to the
Yeah.
belly button. I know how to draw that. Three stripes and filling out. No, two stripes and filling out the middle. Boom, belly button. When we talked about relationships a bit, there I wanted to actually transition into the topic about uh, the fetish lifestyle, like in real life, what your fetish impacts you, the way you think, the way you act, the way you interact with people and stuff. And for me, it's like I love that it's such a huge part of my life and me as a person, but I do sadly struggle a bit with relationships because I want this fetish to be a part of it. So I can't just pick, or I just can't go with one person. It has to be someone that would be okay with it, or even has the fetish itself, him herself.
I kind of agree. But at the same time, I've also just not looked for anyone in a long time, mainly because just like I don't know if I'm personally ready. This last time I tried to get into a relationship was like a really bad time in my life, and I really messed up as a kid.
Oof.
Like, I'm not gonna get too into it because it is kind of personal, but I will say this: Prozac fucks you up.
What fucked you?
It Prozac, it is an antidepressant medication that I was on when I was 12, 13. And I mean,
Good,
it works for a little while for me, but like not really long
good,
term.
good that I don't know anything about that stuff. And little Flamey said
Hey,
a very fucked up antidepressant. Okay, I know that Flamey has
yeah.
some stuff going on.
Just
I'm I don't I don't want to experience anything of that sort, so I am glad that I can say I don't understand how it feels.
I wouldn't say that everybody goes through it. I would just say that everybody has like a time where they feel that bad. And it could just be the one time. It could be multiple times. But we're all human here.
That's true.
We all we all go through things. But yeah,
That's
I
why we love fat, because
want
it makes us happy.
yeah.
Fatness!
I
Woo!
I want to be in a relationship with someone who is admittedly bigger. I want to be in that relationship, like whether they be male or female. But it's also just like I don't know if be accepting of it.
Yeah,
And I
that's
don't
just
and I
something
don't
that
know if
has to come with time.
yeah, and I also don't know if I'm ready yet cuz I'm still in college. I don't even know where I'm going after I'm done with classes. I don't know if I'm going for another higher degree. I don't know if I'm just gonna bite the bullet and try to like pitch ideas to some cartoon studio out in Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Why did I say Las Vegas?
Los
out
Angeles.
out in Los Angeles. Thank you. It's just really hard for me to like figure out where I'm going to be personal, and I don't really know where I'm going yet, so I just kind of want to figure that out first.
That went a lot deeper than I expected.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't
it's
mean
all
to
good.
like
It's all good.
I didn't mean to go like too deep into it. I just kind of just started like getting myself.
No, no, it's all good. I don't even think we have a lot of stuff left. Oh yeah, what's
Always
your own favorite artwork that you're the most proud of?
man. That's the thing. It's like I don't know. Every time I draw and I do an art piece, it's like okay, that's good, and then like 3 weeks later, I go back to it and it's just like, no, it's not good. Why did I think this was good?
Mood.
But I guess the art piece that I've been like proud of the longest would be like the Neptune piece that I did for the story I posted on Halloween. I was really proud of that art piece so much so that I put like a lot of effort into it because I don't often do like the paint style, and
Hmm.
I did the paint style for that piece, and and I think it came out extremely well. I think it is one of my favorite pieces out there. Either that or like, anytime I draw Shion Hearts, anytime I draw Tao Kaka from Blaze Blue, those are usually like really fun times for me. Even if I don't like the art piece all that much, I can still say I had fun because they're fun characters to draw. They're they're like literally my favorites from media.
Hmm.
And it's also kind of like just a subjective thing when it comes to like, oh, favorite piece.
I mean,
Because,
yeah, that is pretty subjective. That's the thing about favorism.
the
You got that right.
I I mean more like, it changes every every so often because I'll look back at an old piece and go, Jesus, I drew that? And
Yeah,
then I'll look
okay.
back at the piece and say the same thing, but just with disgust and disdain.
Yeah, I have like
Like,
two pieces from 2016, 2017 that I still think are my best pieces I ever drew, or a bit, or the top tier pieces I ever drew, and I be like, oh yeah, I can never do that again.
God, I hate to say it, but that's like the same with me. There are just some things about like my old art that I find better, but I think that like change is a good thing in an artist. Like an art style change can be good. Just having an artist find themselves slowly and methodically.
Hmm.
But at the
Exactly.
same time, there is like something to be pulled from old art that some artists just don't like do.
The thing with old art is that it could also be influenced by the time and uh,
Time and
mental
time,
state you were
mental,
in when you drew it.
yeah. Which I also understand that. And I think that's a really interesting part about art is that, it can be like anything that the artist has thought of, like fetish or not.
I personally struggle a lot with non-fetish art.
I I kind of do too, but it's more so I just don't draw non-fetish art anymore.
I
Mainly
should
because
draw
I've just not
non-fetish art to expand.
I'm just
Um, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. Um, I don't know. It's just like I like drawing non-fetish art sometimes, but again, it's usually like a really shit post sketch. But when I like put effort into it, I go, "Hey, that's a really good drawing," and then I also go, "Eh, I
That's a
should
really
probably
shit
just post
drawing.
it. I should probably just post it on my alt." Because I have this piece that I love dearly that I did like way back in earlier this year that I posted on my alt that I still think is one of my favorite pieces. But it's non-fetish art, so no one has seen it in this community. Like how no one has seen my alt at all.
Let me guess, it's not. But I wanted to be funny. I just fucked up before I even said it.
It's okay, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a. I wish I could be a clown. Everybody brags on people being clowns. It's just like, clowns are funny.
Clown fetish is weird.
Clown fetish. I can kind of see where people are coming from with clown fetish.
I don't. Not at all.
I don't find clowns as scary as people do. Like, I get it, they're friendly, but they're also kind of weird. That's kind of the whole point of clowns is to be friendly weird. And I guess like people see clowns as just kind of like if they're not using it to insult somebody on the internet, they are like they see them as like kind of like this weird friend figure in
Hmm.
a way. I don't know, maybe that's the science behind clown fetish.
I don't know. I understand a lot of fetishes, but feet and clown are fetishes I don't understand whatsoever.
Now now feet has like a scientific thing too. It's like it has something to do with the nerves, like the pleasure receptors in a human close to feet for some reason. Like
Okay.
I'm not saying that like a foot fetish is like
Feet fetishes
I
are
don't
now
know.
big brain people.
I wouldn't say that they're not big brain people. I would just say that it's the most common fetish to make fun of
That is true.
for
That
for
is
better
very
or for
true.
worse.
I just. I think I just erased. No, I didn't. And the last question: what is your most popular artwork that your fans or just the internet community love the most?
I had to look back through um my DeviantArt because I didn't really know if the most popular piece that I had still stood as my popular piece, and it turns out it had been usurped. It had been overthrown. My most popular piece, at least on DeviantArt, is the second part to the Toriel weight gain drive that I did a while back. Oddly, it is the second part that is the most popular and not like the third part, which includes Susie. But I also understand why it's not the third part because it's Blob, and Blob can either be really hit or miss for people. But
I
like
might,
my three most
I might pull
popular
it up.
pieces, yeah, my three most popular pieces are just Undertale art that I did.
Hmm.
Like I remember a while ago I did a commission for a friend of Chara and Ezreal, and like that first part was like really popular for a long while, and I didn't really understand why, but now I do. It's because it was Undertale. When it comes to favorites though, like it's a toss up because it can either be furry art like with Kitty Catswell, or it could be human art like Byleth, or Kyrie could come in and just surprise the hell out of me. Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts, that is.
Hmm.
I don't know. I find Kyrie to be fun drawing. It's just a shame she's a lackluster character. That's all right. I'm gonna say this right now. I feel as though people rag on artists' interpretations of other characters a little too much. Because sometimes a character really needs that, like, AUing to be good.
Hmm.
Half the Kingdom Hearts cast is a good example. And this is coming from somebody who absolutely loves the Kingdom Hearts cast, like, or loves the Kingdom Hearts series, rather. I feel as though, like, half of those characters just need, like, a little oomph
A
to them.
little more obese.
That. but more like,
Yeah, I
but
know what
more
you mean.
like, yeah, some of them just don't have any character. Alright, and when they do have character, it's just kind of like, you know, there.
I
It's just more like they're there just to be plot and to swing around a keyblade.
I can't actually say much to it because I wasn't I I never actually finished the first Kingdom Hearts even. I played it a lot and was like, yeah, but I didn't have motivation to finish it at all.
I'll tell you this. How far did you get in?
How far?
Yeah, how far? Do you remember?
Uh, I think uh the one with all the puzzles. I think with the garden and this crazy house that was gigantic. I forgot uh what Disney World it was.
Giant
I think
house.
Alice in
Giant
Wonderland.
house. Oh, Wonderland? Oh, yeah, Wonderland's kind of like a slog in the first game. I'll tell you this. Kingdom Hearts 1 is a very, like, odd game because it's not just like an action RPG, it's also a platformer. For some reason, like they thought that would work, but it's also like a very engaging game because of how many little touches there are, and it's really cute. But
Yeah, I realized that.
if you're looking for gameplay, I think like all of the Kingdom Hearts community is going to tell you go to 2 because it has so much diverse gameplay to it.
Mm.
Even if it's when the plot starts to kind of like, okay, well this kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. Like I could talk about Kingdom Hearts plot, but I would be here for hours. Literally, like I talked about the Kingdom Hearts plot to somebody, and I think it took me like 3 hours to go over it in detail.
Okay, we don't have that much time.
Yeah, we don't have that much time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I planned like 1 to 1.5 or maybe 2 hours in, but I think I would only flat color this.
And
So
getting to Wonderland 2 hours in is really impressive.
no, I meant I meant in the art here that our stream of the podcast.
Oh, you mean the pot?
Yeah, when
God, I'm
you
dumb.
you meant about talking about Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, yeah, I don't have that much time planned in for that.
I got so distracted.
I'm sorry.
Oops.
I mean,
No, it's not your fault.
what if I'm secretly a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner?
Oh shit, oh fuck.
Oh
I
shit! Oh fuck!
feel bad for people who speedrun like RPGs in general though.
The people that put like 100 hours into one.
Yeah, people who put like 100 hours into a JRPG is just like, why? Especially if it's like a 100% speedrun.
Yeah, I meant those
Those
speedruns
people
where it
are
literally
insane.
takes multiple days for it to speedrun.
Those people are insane.
But they have passion.
They have passion, but they're insane.
Such as we
Like,
have such as we have passion with this stuff here that people call us insane for.
oh shit, good segue. Good segue back into it.
Yeah, that's not a topic, but now
I,
the outside view of our fetish and community. That's very interesting, to be honest. If you search feederism on YouTube, you will either find uh, art, uh, some fetish stuff, or mostly just documentaries or commentary videos about those documentaries and how horrible feudalism is and all that, and story time. My boyfriend wanted to do me fat and all that stuff. It's interesting. One half can understand it, and the other half is like, we are the most horrible people on this planet.
Yeah, I feel as though like the feederism and inflation fetish has just gotten like a bad rap because of people like some people who just whose whole shtick is to just grab DeviantArt pictures, point at them, and say, "Look at how awful this art piece is. Look at how
Look, look,
terrible it is."
look at this cringe.
It doesn't often like affect the artist, but when it does, it's just like this mob mentality that this person has behind them.
Deviant cringe, for example.
Yeah, deviant cringe.
Oh god,
Yeah,
I hate
I,
that
I was
guy.
actually I was actually one of my art pieces ended up on deviant cringe's videos like way long ago, like back when Bowsette was like just starting out. Like he found my piece on her, and it was just like, yeah, but why though? It's just like, dude, you're on a site called DeviantArt. Do you not expect deviant art? It
Like, dude,
it
you're searching
is.
up these fetishes. Did you expect to not see these fetishes?
It's like if one of us went to like this website, like fucking towelracks.com, and all there was on that site was just towel racks, and it's just like, where's everything else? Why is it all towel racks? I don't know. Maybe it's because everything is fucking towel racks. Like, that whole site is dedicated to towel racks. Maybe that's why there isn't anything else other than towel racks. It's because there's nothing but towel racks on that site. I just think people feel like really over overzealous about shitting on things.
What's
It's
interesting is, I do actually think the people that specifically search for these fetishes to shit on these fetishes are into those fetishes. Because why else
I
would
wouldn't
they actually know that much about it and find that many artists and people?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would just say that they're like overcompensating, or not overcompensating. They're like shifting the blame somewhere else. Like, oh well, I like this weird thing, but it's really weird. Let me look at other people's fetishes and make fun of them to feel better about myself, when it's just like, nah, bro,
Yeah,
accept
I
the
get.
fact that you have a weird fetish. It's not, no one's gonna hate you for it,
Other than normies.
other than normal people. But fuck normal people. What has a normal person ever done for you?
Like, I know two parties that really hate fetishes and stuff. It's one, the ultra normies that just think everything that isn't in the magazine is cringe, or like in the public eye that it's cringe, and Twitch chat. Like, if anime
Twitch
pops
chat
up,
is a nightmare.
fattening up
Twitch
a
chat
towel
is
rack when yes, flamey.
Twitch chat is just a nightmare anyway. Like, they are the most chaotic beings on the internet.
I mean, the streamer can control them, but it's like, if there's anime, holy shit, they just freak the fuck out.
For better or for worse.
And it's not even like the weird kind. It's not even just like traps or anything or hentai. It's just any kind of anime.
Isn't like trap a slur now?
Uh, yeah, trap was banned from Twitch, right? No.
Yeah, I
Simp and
think it's
Virgin were trap.
no simp,
Were
simp, incel, and other
Virgin.
things were banned. But I was meaning like I think like trans people
Entitled
don't like
trans
the
people.
word. I wouldn't say
Entitled trans.
entitled. I wouldn't say entitled. I would just say like there's like a stigma behind the word trap where I think it was just like used by 4chaners against trans people as an insult, and now that word's just kind of been tainted.
The thing is,
Kind of like how kind of like how the kind of like how the R word in our English language, that R word used to be uh just commonplace, but then people like took it as an insult, and
I
now
use it
you can't
commonly, to
really
be
say it.
honest.
Use it
Because
well, I mean,
it depends on the context and where a person is coming from. The first ever time I heard someone get mad about trap was when I just said his character is the cutest trap in the world because it was a femboy, or like, yeah, and they were mad at me. But then I was like, hey, why is that an insult? Because I come from the weeps, the animes, the otakus, where trap is just such a common word. For Felix, for example, it's a trap. It's what we know it as a trap, and that's just common thing in the weep world. The thing is, r/animemes banned the word trap because it got so much exposure for being an insult, and people created r/better animemes. So yeah, it's complicated, to be honest, and the
it
R
is.
word, it's also, for me, it depends on the context. If I call, for example, Flamey, I'm sorry for using you as an example. If I call you retarded right now, that would probably be very hurtful and very much a slur and everything. But if I talk about someone I really dislike and I call them retarded, that's not about them and mental issues. It's about me hating them. It's
I feel like the R word now has just kind of been used as like an adjective, if that makes any sense. Because whenever I hear people say it, oh, they say, oh, well, that's so that,
hmm,
and I and
much
I
like
feel
how
I don't
gay
know.
was used as one.
Yeah, like much like how gay was used as an adjective at one point for some reason.
The internet was a lot less.
Crazy, a lot less like
Let
strict.
me just strict crazy back then. Uh, like nowadays you have to watch every word you say. If you say wrong word, someone is gonna cancel you
Well,
just for
yeah,
saying a word. Corpse husband, he
also,
blew up. Someone watched his old story videos and he said a word. The person wrote stories for him, like those horror stories, and or maybe horror stories or stories about someone's life. And the character said, or in the story, a character said to the character in the story an insult about lesbians, I think. And
um,
and people got mad at Corpse for saying that word. It was a character in a story. And because he didn't want any arguments, he apologized and took down the video.
I
And
mean,
back then, you could say the N word anytime, and no one was hurt. No one thought anything because they knew it wasn't meant serious.
I guess it's just, I guess the real blame can be just put on like those people who push the boundaries too far. They ruined the they ruined the fun, and they took it too seriously.
But
So now
also,
people are just offended over it, and there are some sensitive people out there. I'll
but
also agree
also
with that.
social justice warriors that want to just find the smallest thing to get onto someone.
It's also fair. I feel as though like social justice is less of a thing now.
Kinda,
I
there are still people, but I would call them less social justice warrior nowadays and just entitled that they have to act. like someone that brought up an old drama of me. He said himself he was the villain of the fat community and stuff, and he feels entitled to bring up those things and stuff. Yeah, Flamey, you're
That
right. Most of the cancellations these days just don't matter a lot, but it still
only
hurts.
I would only say like a few select people deserve to be canceled.
Yeah,
Like
but
only like a small minority of the community is like that bad that they need to be like shut down.
yeah, in our community, I don't think there really are a lot of people that need to be cancelled. Of course, a lot of people did stupid things, said stupid things, me including. But like, there is no reason for it.
Yeah, there's no reason to like cancel everybody. It's just it kind of goes back to what you said earlier, is that I do agree. I do agree. I think that there are some people that are just very sensitive.
Mm,
At the same time, I also kind of understand from their perspective now, because like, there are people out there that just kind of come in here to just have fun. Now they're caught up in something, makes them uncomfortable. I also feel bad for artists that have to go through that, because it's suffering for them.
and I think it's even worse when it comes to. I want to go back to fetish art a bit. I think it's also
Go ahead.
worse with fetish art when you draw a specific fetish. Outside people can see it so differently and try to cancel you for something that isn't even a thing about it. For example, ABDL, like adult baby and stuff. A lot. I think Anthony Padilla, the one guy from Smosh, does a lot of talking with different kinds of people, and he even made a video with adult babies and stuff to explain. And he even talked about the stereotype that apparently adult babies are all pedophiles.
I feel as though that is a common stereotype with them,
Hmm.
and I kind of, in some ways, I feel like, you know, I feel bad because they have to go through that.
Yeah, that's what that's
I
what I went over to. But
All of this time, I forgot her damn ponytail.
don't.
All of
Oh,
this time, I forgot her freaking ponytail.
I sometimes forgot her normal tail. I,
Oh man. Oh man. Can we talk about like just drawing your OCs and then forgetting that they have something and then just going like, fuck, oops.
I
Like my
one
most my,
one time I forgot Michelle's ponytail and her tattoo. Even though her tattoo is like the most original thing about her that makes her look, that makes her more original, or that makes her more unique compared to other characters and makes her stand out and be like, oh yeah, that's ShySho's OC. And I feel like
I
why did I make an OC if I'm just gonna forget half of it?
I made a I gave see like a little cape is on his little dress, and then I always forget to draw the cape. Or not the cape, but like the little hang down thing, which I guess could just be a cape, and I'm overthinking it. But I always forget that, and I feel so dumb when I do, because it's just like, at this point, why did I put it on him if I'm just gonna keep forgetting it?
It's so weird to forget something about a character. The shittiest thing is when it's a commission and the person gets a bit iffy because you forgot an important detail about the character.
Oh man, dude,
Have you had
I
that
know that
happen?
feeling. I
Yeah.
know that feeling. Not to an extreme, but it's more like I got somebody slightly perturbed. Man, I did not finish Michelle at all.
How dare you not
Zippers.
care about my character?
How did I miss the zipper? Um,
Did I even draw a zipper in her reference
it
sheet?
kinda. It looks like a zipper at least.
Let me
It's that
just
little gray spot.
let me.
I
Oh, I did
I don't
draw a zipper. It's
what
black.
what
Here.
what there we go. There we go. I don't know how I missed that. Did I miss anything else? Her eye right here.
You don't need to draw that.
Drawing it.
He's drawing
Well,
it.
I did it. I drew it. Just kind of fix this link here.
You did the art.
When it comes to like forgetting things about OCs, I just kind of get like a couple of things about my OCs like all the time. Sometimes I forget Mitzi's cape. Sometimes I forget like just other OCs entirely. Because I have posted a lot of OCs, and I to be fair focus on only a couple of them.
Hmm.
Even though I try to focus on them more than I do, it just doesn't end up working because like there's just so many of them, and I want to give them all attention and affection. Yet with a big cast like that, you're gonna end up ignoring
Yeah, that's why
a good
I.
majority.
That's why I like threw away 90% of my OCs when I restarted. Now I have 4, and I barely even draw Michelle. So yeah, I want to keep 4 OCs, maybe turn it down to 3 again. I don't know yet. But
I
we have
mean,
a question from
yeah,
Flamey. As um, hey, so I actually have a question. Say someone wants to transition or learn to do drawing. What would be the best way to approach that?
I I kind of don't want to say it other than oh just draw, because that's the most common thing that people say is to just get the experience and just draw. But if I were to say something, unique, I would say look into other artists and how they do it. Because, not every art style is 100% unique. They can all share similarities with other art styles and have their own little things. In reality, art styles are just like different ways to
amalgamations
portray. Yeah,
amalgamations of everything that
like
the person learned.
yeah, absolutely. So there is no like one way to draw one thing. Just draw just draw how you want to draw. Like you can learn anatomy, you can learn Loomis, or you could just start out by just sketching and seeing where you go from there. If you want to learn how to draw, again, there's Loomis, but there's also art videos out there, like Keenan Lafferty, for example, makes really good art tutorial content. Um, but other than that, just go ham. Like, discover yourself in a sense. Why isn't this?
And
Anyway,
yeah, look at the artists that you admire and reference from them, and in general always use references. That's the
yeah,
most thing that I learned, and I need to do it again because I stopped doing it for some reason.
I
It
need to do it
helps.
again too.
It helps so much if you don't even know how much it helps. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, it's the copying stuff." No, it's not. Not at all. A popular YouTube channel who does art challenges. His stuff, stuff he draws, is basically just painting a picture that he found or that the fan gave him or something. You don't need to make everything original as long as you have an access point is not the right word, but as long as you have something that you see that you want to draw, then draw it. I now this is just like the most basic pose I could think of right now for this. But if I want to draw Hilda right now jogging with a hot dog on her head and stuff, I would pull up a cartoon with a fishing rod with a hot dog. I would pull up many reference images about running on a treadmill. I would even copy the pose, even trace over the drawing just to get the pose first. And then I add everything else on it. Use references, trace if needed, but don't trace an entire image and say it's yours.
Yeah, I feel as though there is this big stigma around this big stink, if you will, around tracing artwork. And I while you shouldn't like trace an art piece word for like bit for bit, if you're trying to learn the fundamentals of art, tracing is very helpful, and in fact like very underrated advice, probably because it can be worded in a way to be like, oh well, this person advocates tracing. That's not really the case at all. People should
Yep.
learn how to do art by, getting down dirty with it. Hell, like when I was a kid, I had this Pokemon art book and I learned how to draw Pokemon by like tracing them.
Yeah, same here. And I want to show an example. I'm drawing a body pillow for someone, and I don't have the original image, but uh, do I have the original image in the other? Yes, there's an original image that I had behind it, and the original I traced over it and then added my fat sketch over it. And with the front here, I traced most of the pose that the original body pillow design was of, just so I have a baseline that I can work from. If I work from the original, it doesn't feel right to me. I drew it myself, so I know how to approach it, and then I added from there, and then I proceeded from there. And now I have a very adorable body pillow pose that I'm really proud of, and it's mostly original because the original was not fat and stuff. So it it's it's really not that bad to trace over something to help you get started. Not at
Yeah,
all.
let's just getting started. It's a good tool and it's a good method. Now, when you're trying to like claim it as your own or you're making a profit off of it, that's when like I understand why people get upset. But if you're like just trying to learn and you're doing like these offhand sketches, like it's fine. It's not a problem. And people make it out to be a problem for some reason because they're uptight, weird. And now that I'm drawing Michelle's hair, all I can think of is Rosie from Animal Crossing. Cause there's so much blue and white and it's really cute and it reminds me of Rosie and she's my favorite cat. Well, one of my favorite cats.
And I would say that I'm almost done with my piece. It's mostly just a sketch, but
Say it. Almost done with my piece too. I wish I could shade it, but I don't have that much time. But um
to be honest, I will probably not make the other person finish their artwork or anything. It's just something that they can watch. But if someone can finish something in the time spent, then it's fine.
I mean, I try to finish every artwork that I work on. Well, not every artwork I work on, but like every artwork that like I'm like, okay, this is actually going to be a piece that I post and not just some weird joke.
Yeah, I bet if I didn't draw two characters, I would have been able to shade and everything. I would still be able to shade, but I don't want to make the podcast too long because basing a podcast on how fast someone can draw is not really what I wanted to go for.
Yeah, it's also not healthy to draw like super fast. I feel as though that's something that like people mistake. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
they have a fast art style. It's like that's not always a good thing. Like with me, I try to like be slower in my sketches. And part of me is like, what if I do go fast? And then I'm like, dude, have you seen your line work? It's kind of sloppy. You should probably slow down just in general.
Any percent drawing.
Any percent drawing? Well,
Yeah,
like, it just,
for me, it's I would say I am pretty quick, but it also depends on what I draw. So if it's something like this, like a very simple post that's 100% inside my comfort zone, then yeah, I can do that pretty quickly. I did this in over 1.5 hours. So, and other people would say, "Holy shit, this would take me 3 hours," and it doesn't matter how long it takes someone. Even if they take 8 hours to sketch something, as long as they do it, it's fine.
I almost forgot the Borgor.
The what? A burger?
The
Oh, okay.
Borg
I'm an
Borgor.
idiot.
It's just a funny way to say burger. Borgor. I don't know, what meme way do
Yeah,
you say your foods?
yeah, Flamey. Yeah, the burning out is definitely something. But what I learned from a video I sent you to, is to just fight through the burnout. I think it may not be too healthy, but it can motivate you, or at least motivated me. And what I it's the daily sketches I did, and I felt burnt out too because I was done from work on some days too, and I just felt forced. So I did do what I do now. I do a weekly drawing, and I can just pace it however I want. And at the end of the week, I'm so happy I was productive and I did something.
See, I experienced burnout not too long ago. Like, I experienced it, like, right after my semester finished.
Hmm.
And it's just like, oh God, I am glad that's over. Like, not even like after my semester finished, it was like during the semester too. Like, I experienced like a heavy amount of burnout because of how shit that semester was and just how it like treated me.
Hmm.
Because it was just like I went through one of the hardest classes I think I'd ever gone through since like algebra in college. Because fucking college algebra is hard. I went through a computer hardware class, and it was worst experience I had in a while because there was so much shit to learn, so little time to learn it, and I this was like during the part where like I don't know, it's just like it was really hard. Stop making fun of me. It was a really hard part of my classes, and it's just like every other class was like relatively easy. Like the only other class I had trouble in was geography, and it was my fault mostly because I didn't really get too deep into the subject. Like I didn't study too much. Like I would say that that's my fault, but it's like when it came to computer hardware, like I was really excited for the class, and then I just like I barely got a D on it. I got like a D out of like extra credit. I bombed the final. Like I think I got like a 56%.
Yeah.
Because there's
Stuff
just
like
so much to learn.
that. I recently drew an artwork thanking this community, the people that I met, because the fatty stuff is something that makes me happy. Not with even without the horny and sexual aspect of it. It just makes me happy. It makes me feel comfortable, and I'm so glad that this exists. Like in really hard times, it was just so nice to just look at obese characters and just feel glad and happy again. And I think that's something everyone should, or maybe not everyone, but most people should look at, that this is something they love and this is something that should make them happy, and they shouldn't be ashamed that they love it.
Yeah, like maybe you're not a fat fetishist. Maybe you're a fetishist for something else. Just kind of open up about it. Just follow some like-minded people, talk to some like-minded people, and just kind of talk about it with others, because it's healthy to discuss. It's healthy to talk about how you feel about what you like on the inside,
Yeah.
and just keeping it bottled up is probably the worst thing that you could do to yourself.
Yeah, like those people that keep both separate. They are hiding it, are afraid. I think even Blendo Nintendo or just Blendo. I think even he hides it, and he needs to be careful about when drawing it. And I don't think that's healthy. But I can't force it onto him that he should embrace it. Of course not.
I need to
But
talk with Blendo Nintendo.
I used to talk a bit with him, but didn't really click. But that's mostly because I am very, very bad at keeping conversations and being social. And I had
I
that
think you,
conversation with two of the people in the chat too. So, I
I
mean,
think
that's
you
why I
did a
do this.
good. I
That's why
think
I
you
do
did a
this
good
podcast.
job.
That's
I
why I do
think you
this
did a good
podcast. Thank you, thank you.
job. I would say that this piece is done. As I rub my hands some. Up, there we go. Ugh.
Boom. I love it so much. Thank you so much for drawing Michelle. Oh my god.
No problem. I needed to anyway.
You don't. You didn't need it
Yes,
to.
I did.
No.
Yes, I did. Yep, I
I
did.
al- I'm always way too
Look at
thankful when
these.
someone draws my OCs. It
Look
doesn't
at
even
these.
matter
Look
if
at
she...
these. Look at
Look
these
at these
nerds.
butterballs. Gosh, two nerdy Nekos that just are the most fat thing you could think of. I love it. I love it so much. And
I think I also gave them like a proportion swap, because usually it's Caitlin's hips that are bigger and Michelle's stomach that's bigger, and I think I just gave them a swap without thinking about it.
a hyper proportion swap.
Hyper is fun.
Hyper is really fun. I should draw more hyper stuff.
You should draw more
Okay,
hyper. I should draw more hyper stuff.
I would say compared to what I usually draw, hyper stuff, because some of my stuff that I draw, it's just not really that hyper to me. I guess this would be hyper, but it's just pretty average to me. It's just a bigger size. Oh yes,
Yeah, I
Flamey,
mean,
Flamey, yes, do it.
you could also get to the point where like, some just like bigger sizes just don't seem that weird to you anymore.
Yeah, I had that when I joined Tabby on Incognito Tab's server. I posted something and they said, yeah, that's not safe for work, and I was like, what? How? And it was just the sizes of the characters that could be seen as very sexual and
Yeah,
stuff. Even though
that's
for me
the
the size was completely normal.
that's the other stigma behind like fetish stuff now. It's just like it's always sexual, 100% sexual. It has to always be. It's just like, no,
Oh
it
yeah, I hate that
doesn't.
so much,
I
especially when
hate
you
it when
draw.
people like I hate it when
espe-
people say stuff like that. It's just like, no, it doesn't always have to be sexual.
Especially when it's a character people are a bit iffy about and they always say it's
Yeah,
sexual. Like, okay, in my case, Hilda. Some people would try to cancel me right now. For me, it's just a wholesome, obese picture of her and their OC being happy and stuff. That's all. There's nothing really sexual about it.
dude, the fucking Pokemon rabbit hole is like immense. I have gone down it. Like I've gone down the timeline and I found out that a lot of characters that people get mad about are technically legal in the Pokemon like continuum.
Yeah, the iceberg flamey is right. But I don't think we should really go into that. That's a bit too
Yeah, that's a
controversial.
bit too much. That's a bit too much.
So, I guess thank you so much for being on the first episode of the ShyCast.
Yo, thank you for having me.
I'm glad I picked you because I know you well, and I think that helped me a lot to get started with having a almost 2 hour long conversation about written topics, because usually all my conversations with friends are just random and out of the blue. So
That's not like
it
that's
was
a
fun.
bad thing. Yeah, it was fun. I I I would like to be on another podcast one day.
Of course, I can have you here sometime later, but I will probably ask on Twitter who would like to be on it, and then I will ask them and pick a person. So yeah, and also holy shit, thank you for the over 10 for the 10 people that are watching right now. I'm blown away that so many people watch. So yeah, thank you all, and thank you for being here, and thank you for trying Michelle.
Hey, no problem. I felt as though I've been meaning to do gift art for people more. I I got something planned for the future.
Oh, we're gonna looking forward to that. But for now, thank you everyone for watching. I wish you a great Sunday and a great start into the week, and a happy Christmas and happy whatever else. See y'all. Bye.
Thank you for stopping by.